What's going on out there? This is the Turn 2 Terribles podcast coming to you live here tonight. This is Wednesday, 420, bro. Blaze it. We got a lot to talk about this week. We had Bristol Dirt this past week. We had the World of Outlaws at I-55. We had the All-Stars kick off their points season. We'll have PA Weekly shows. Big iRacing week for us. Our championship week is here. And just a lot of other stuff going on. I'm here joined by Josh Aaron and Chris Lynn. We got Chris with a camera now. You know, you can
finally put a face to the name.
And he's probably got about $500 worth sitting behind him there. Just sitting on the gold mine back there with the Hoosier
tire. Still got a lot of tread.
Hey, I mean,
maybe Danny Dietrich could use it for Bloom.
Yeah, maybe it would make him go to Bloom. I don't know. So let's get into it, guys. Let's start off with the obviously Bristol Dirt this past week. Pretty wild. It was a big success in comparison to last year. I think the whole weekend they had to deal with some weather on Sunday, and I guess Saturday morning as well. But everything went off pretty well. Great racing throughout. Starting with the trucks. Ben Rhodes comes away with the win. Buddy Kofoid made his debut in Kyle Busch's 51 and was really strong. Took himself out late. He had a lot of Cup guys in there. You had Joey Logano, you had Austin Dillon in there. They were running pretty strong. You saw Chase Elliott was also in the number 7. 3-4 wide racing at time, guys. It was blowing my mind how good that track was.
Yep. I think it was a much better improvement than last year. I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I guess going into the season, they changed the way the progressive banking was and just made a lot of different adjustments to the way they laid the dirt out this year on the track, and it was perfect. It really was great. It wasn't just a one lane, race down on the bottom, and that if you slipped up off the bottom, like normal short track racing on asphalt, if you slip up from the bottom and you get freight trained on the bottom, it wasn't like that. You can run multiple lines. The track was changing. You saw guys where they were able to keep up with the track conditions, which is not something these asphalt guys necessarily have to do as much as dirt. I mean, you still have to adjust it on the asphalt to the way the lines change and everything, but it's much more accelerated on dirt, I think, because it changes every couple laps.
Yeah, shout out to Ty Majeski. He didn't end up finishing very well, but he was fairly dominant in everything else he was in, and never ran dirt before, and he was looking good out there. And then also shout out to fellow e-racer Parker Kligerman, the top 5, which is huge. That's such a small team. That's huge for them.
Yeah. At the end there, I mean, Ben Rhodes, he's not really a dirt racer either. He's run well on dirt when they've done, but he's not known to be a dirt racer. He won both stages, was kind of behind the 8 ball there in the final stage, drove his ass up, and got up to the lead. Carson Hocevar was leading late there. He actually led 55 laps of this race, and he looked strong, but he has some of a dirt background. Disappointing for him, but a very, very strong run for another smaller team,
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple guys up there. I mean, you had Logano and Chase Elliott 6th and 7th. They ran okay, but they were never really contended for the win. They just ran strong.
What about I don't even remember who it was. The 2 trucks that got stuck together.
Yeah, so Benedetto himself, right? That was crazy. That doesn't even make sense. How that even happens?
I think that was Matt DiBenedetto and Austin Wayne Self.
Yeah,
DiBenedetto just did a normal slider, just touched bumpers enough, and they locked, and it was good on them. They didn't wreck.
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't tear each other's trucks up, but they just were able to slow down together and hold hands.
Yeah, it
would have been smarter to just turn left and unhook them.
Yeah. I don't.
Turn left and spin him out, and hopefully that unhooked him. I don't know if it would. He was pretty locked. So
you got to understand. Like they ran around the track for about a whole lap, hooked like that. Didn't tear anything up. They had to come to a stop pretty much simultaneously, without doing that. And then I mean they had to red flag the race to get them apart, and they ended up finishing the race, I believe. Way far down though, it looks like. Sucks for them, but actually they finished 35th and 36th. But they were running. Every truck, all 36 trucks were running at the end of this race.
Like the first time in how long for the truck series?
Another thing that I saw on Twitter was that this was the most viewed truck race at Bristol since the inaugural event back in 1996. One of the top truck races of all time, just viewership wise.
One of the better ones of all time, I think. I mean, it really was. I mean, dirt or not dirt, it was one of the better truck races at Bristol.
I do want to take a second and talk a little more about Buddy Kofoid, because he just ran here in his sprint car last weekend on Saturday and won at Lincoln here. And he's a young kid. He's a Toyota driver. He's midget champion, I believe, and he's won a lot at a young age, and finally starting to get some stock car experience here in his first race. I mean, it was him and Ben Rhodes. Actually, him and Ben Rhodes are racing together, and that's how he just stepped on it, looped it. But he was impressive. I don't know what you guys think there. About that.
He ran really good. One of the heats, he was running really good. He's got, I think, bad luck.
Yeah,
overheated, right? So
yeah.
Oh, impressive for sure. I mean, it's a whole different thing. He goes from midgets, sprint cars, everything like that, to jumping in a truck. It's on dirt, but it's a whole different thing. So impressive coming from the back all the way to the front and kept it clean up until he just got on the brake too hard there when Ben Rhodes slid him and just lost it. And that's just part of his learning in a big stock car.
Well, and then again, not just to go to any team, but to get a chance on Kyle Busch Motorsports to go to, a big team and just get time in a truck on a team like that, it's going to help him out in the future for sure.
But it's not as easy either, even though he's in great equipment, to never have raced in a truck before, to basically live up to the billing. I mean, if he didn't make that mistake there, you might be talking about him being a winner in his first ever race. It was really impressive.
Right. He was definitely fast enough to maybe make it fun with Ben Rhodes there, but Ben Rhodes definitely had the best truck, I think, all night. And he kind of put himself behind the 8 ball by not pitting after that first stage, but he overcame it, so good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So then on Sunday, we had the Cup race, Easter Sunday. This one got a little crazy, to say the least. A little bit crazier than the truck race, to be honest. One, the weather didn't look great. And everybody was like, are we going to have a repeat of last year? Because it didn't look good on Monday either. They're like, maybe we could run a Tuesday. Yes, NASCAR stuck to their guns, man, and they got that in. Even though it was raining probably most of the race. They had 2 rain delays. Just a wild race. Kyle Busch ends up walking away with the win after Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe get together in the final corner and spin out. Tough luck for Reddick. Briscoe driving hard, just drives it in the 3 and 4 real deep. Tries to get right next to Reddick and ends up just drifting up into him, spinning them out. Reddick still finishes second, but just gets passed by Kyle Busch at the line. Kyle Busch was probably going to be one of the last people that I had to win. I would have probably picked him over like a Joey Logano from last year. But definitely the dirt ringers were out there with they were the fastest cars out there. Larson, Briscoe, Reddick, even Christopher Bell at times. They were constantly up there in that top 5, if not leading the race. But there's just so many variables with the rain delays, and there's quite a few accidents in this one. But it was a wild race.
Yep. I'm slowly becoming a Briscoe fan, but he did what he had to do to try to win it. He wasn't going to follow him and get in second, so
It was almost like he drove in there and realized it was going to end very terribly and decided to basically lock it down. It was just too late.
Yep.
And then just caught him right in that really bad part, in that left corner. So Reddick's going to get wins, though. He's been fast all year. RCR, Chevy, all of them as a whole have been fast. He's going to get one. He just needs some luck to go his way. Before it was always keeping him from destroying his race, and now it's just getting things to fall his way.
We have somebody in the chat saying sleep on Rowdy, but he has a lot of dirt experience. He does have some dirt experience. He ran a late model. He won at Eldora, I think, back in the day, and
he did
late model Dream or whatever race. I think he actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he ran a late model at Williams Group before. He didn't win, but he ran one at Williams Group before. I might be wrong. I could have swore I saw that a couple years ago.
I thought it was a little bit ironic that he's already made comments this year about the Bowman backing into a win, and then
he also
got him one, but
he was also one vocal about saying that Dirt's taking the series backwards.
Yeah,
and then
he'll take his 60th win and run with it.
Yeah. It gets him into the playoffs too when he didn't look like he was strong enough to win some races here. You know what I mean? He's been up and down, not to ever count him out of winning, but I would say he's been one of the best. In general hasn't been great.
I think he's been one of the better Toyotas all year, at least consistently. Yeah, that's not going to do it, though. But things change when you get the summer months. Who knows? But he wasn't the only guy vocal. There's a lot of vocal guys against. Like Harvick had a lot of comments after his issues on Sunday night. Larson didn't want the windshield, and there was a lot of guys vocal about not being excited about taking these cars to Bristol Dirt. I think it worked out okay, but I think there's a lot of things they can fix.
There's things that they could improve. I don't think they have to fix anything. I think they did a really great job. Again, this was another race where I couldn't believe we're the Cup cars. With how damp it was, the track conditions, 2 rain delays, they had to throw a caution like about 15 laps in because cars were getting caked with mud. We actually had a couple cars. Ross Chastain, I believe, was one. Denny Hamlin was another where they had engine issues, probably because of all the mud getting into the radiator and overheating the motors and just causing failures. But overall, I mean, they kept up with the track. They ran through a lot of light rain, albeit, and got the full thing in and had a hell of a finish and a hell of a race. It was good racing throughout. Lines were changing, like I said before, and there's a lot of surprises. I think I did not expect Michael McDowell to finish up there because he's not a dirt guy.
Hey, McDriver, bro.
He's a good driver.
He's a driver. McDriver. He's a Daytona 500 champion.
You want to talk about backing into a win?
I was trying to find the Jeff Gluck tweet. 61% of people said that it was a good race, but it ranks number 9 of 10 so far in 2022.
I thought it was a great race,
and
but I'm also a dirt guy, so.
But
I don't think that's a fair thing.
Go ahead, Chris.
I don't think it's a fair because no one wanted to. We talked, I think, a little bit last week. Bristol's everyone's favorite short track, and you took that away and put dirt on it. You're gonna, I don't know. I think it was a good race. It could be. There's some things that were annoying that we'll get to with the broadcast side, but
yeah.
The race itself, I think, was the best you could hope for. A little bit of carnage. Reminds you of old Bristol. They finally have a classic finish to go back against 99 Earnhardt and Labonte. So we were watching this one for a while, and that's great. So.
And I had to go find it. I didn't want to get it wrong, but the truck race was officially the seventh most viewed truck race of all time.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the night before Easter, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But it was on FS1. The Cup race was on Big Fox.
Yep.
And it's impressive. And I think the truck race was definitely the better race out of the two, just because of the track conditions. But the Cup race is still really, really good. There were a lot of craziness. at the end of stage 2, it started raining. There was confusion on who was actually the leader because they freeze the field. There was a whole debate. There's a lot of people angry when because they thought they were going to call it. They're like, oh, it's going to rain. It's going to wash the track out. And man, NASCAR stuck with it. And they didn't have to deal with it, which is good.
Good. That's a stupid rule.
I loved in the interviews the drivers just doubling down, and they'd say, "Well, you're in 12th." They're like, "No, I'm in 4th."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it, but for me, I understand pitch strategy, but
I think it's a dumb application of the rule that they
Yeah.
tried to pull there. So that's just my take. Hopefully they
sure.
don't do that. If you go down pit road, you just lose your spot. That should just be boom, done. And just let them roll around all together, bring them back in. If you have to fix scoring that way, then do it that way. But that'd have been such an easy fix. And they got saved by restarting that race. If they award Chase Briscoe to win there, I think
there
everyone
would have
hates
been a lot of
everything.
people angry.
I saw
And then
that.
Kyle Busch ends up winning
Except for
anyway.
Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Right, except for Kyle Busch.
I saw that, and it is a good point. I did see that on social media, but there might be some validity to it that second restart maybe only happened so that they didn't end the race with that cluster of not knowing what's going on.
That would be.
I think
NASCAR thing to do.
100%. I also think they owed it to the fans who came out and to get it in, to get the whole thing in. I mean, it didn't even end that late. I think it ended at like what, 10:45 or something. Maybe
It
even a little bit
wasn't
early.
terribly late as far as rain delays go.
No,
Especially two of them.
The rain delays were only about 15, 20 minutes, and then they were back out on the track. You know what I mean? That's one of the nice things about dirt, and the fact that it didn't rain that hard. If it would have rained a lot harder, we wouldn't. It would be a totally different story.
I think it was only 45 minutes total of delay. So I don't.
Between two of them.
Yeah. So not terrible at all. I mean, shout out to Bristol for having 2 rain delays, still running it, and only being delayed that long.
Mm-hmm.
How long was Martinsville delayed? It didn't feel like as long as
Probably
it
about the
felt
same
there.
amount of time, about a half hour.
Yeah.
But the Air Titans there, they make that place dry so fast because we literally went to the campsite, got there, like they're getting ready to refire engines. We gotta walk back. I was just wondering if anyone knew how long that was. It didn't feel very long.
So they did announce already. Bristol Dirt will be back in 2023. We don't know the date yet. I would imagine, probably the same date. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it until it's broke. Because they had one of their highest rated Cup races of the year, viewership wise. A lot of people seemed positive with it, except for there's all the people that love the Bristol asphalt they're gonna say Bristol Dirt sucks. You know what I mean? And I get it. But until they find another track that they could run dirt on, I do think they should. I'm a fan of them doing one dirt race a year for the Cup Series. Truck's been doing it for a while. They have 2 of them now, and until they find another track that they're comfortable taking Cup to, just keep doing it at Bristol.
So for
That's my
reference, if they keep Easter weekend again, they get away with it next year because Easter moves every year. It's April 9th next year if they do it Easter Sunday night again.
It was better
They're
this
wrong.
year with them doing it at night with the dust and everything.
But they're going the wrong way. They come early.
It's still too early in the year. It's too cold. I get it's Tennessee. It's too cold, man. It's just, it's not like NASCAR fans aren't like PA sprint car fan diehards where we're going to go out in February when snow's still on the ground to go watch sprint cars. NASCAR Cup fans are, I don't want to say fair weather. You have diehard fans, but they're not, and it doesn't always produce the best racing either.
For sure. That's something they'd have to figure out how to make that work in the schedule. And I know the May schedule, they could move things around, especially for like day races even. Like moved over up maybe or something like that.
If me personally, I would flip. I would put Talladega before Martinsville and Bristol. Move Martinsville and Bristol back 2 weeks.
Easy enough.
And then it's because then you have your night races, and then if you're at the very end of April, beginning of May, it's not so bad.
Yeah,
for sure.
I do want to we need to talk about this. NASCAR on Fox absolutely blows. I have not been a fan of it for a long time. I think the you watch the pre-race, the segments they do are corny as shit. Mike Joy is like the only enjoyable thing out of the broadcast. Clint Boyer's not bad. Jeff Gordon was okay. I hate it. Me personally, I'm gonna get chastised for it. I hated Darrell Waltrip, man, and he was the worst person to bring in here to Bristol Dirt. I'd rather listen to DW if like when they're going to Darlington. That would have made more sense to me. Bristol Dirt doesn't make any sense to me. He doesn't know anything about the car. He doesn't know anything about dirt, really. I guess it worked out. But
I want to know how Fox hurt Jimmy. Dang. He just went on a rant.
Want to know how?
Yeah, I do want to know how.
You have your best truck race in years. You said it, Josh. 7th highest of all time. 13 laps to go. They're battling for the win. You have Ben Rhodes and Buddy Kofoid charging in the top 5 to come. They're the fastest trucks on the track. They go Fox side by side. 2 commercial break. Buddy Kofoid spins. They don't cut away. Like if they're side by side. First of all, the fact that they're even going to commercial break.
Right, let's just go there.
13 laps to go on a half-mile track is absolutely asinine. Okay, side by side, caution happens. They still throw another 6 commercials on before they go back full screen until they could tell you what's going on.
Right.
It's not the first time it's happened. It probably won't be the last. They're absolutely horrendous. I think NBC is more. They're a little more aware of the situation. They do their homework for one, and they won't necessarily do that. Like if a something's happening, they will pull back from going to commercial. They do a good job with it. Fox doesn't, man. They're just so, I don't know. And just the broadcasting of it all has just, for me, hasn't been good for years. It's been going on a steady decline. And it's that type of stuff where it's just like they don't care. They don't understand. They got so many like facts wrong about dirt that it was cringe. It was very cringy.
Yeah, I'm warm on Clint Boyer. I think it depends on who he's with. And Clint Boyer and DW I don't think that was, DW shouldn't have been there like you said. It's Bristol, he's the king of Bristol, but not Bristol Dirt.
Menzies,
Absolutely not.
ESPN was worse.
Yeah, nobody will ever go back
Daniel
to ESPN.
Menzies coming in here. Fox isn't cutting it anymore. Go back to ESPN. ESPN was bad, but the ESPN's getting bad at everything, in my opinion, in sports. But
except for Formula One, which they don't even
do. All they do is
right,
simulcast it. They just simulcast Sky Sports. So
maybe Sky Sports should come do it. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, they got to do something. I would love to see NBC take it over full time. I think they do a fantastic job. I look for that halfway point in the year. That second, I'm glad that they do the playoffs because they do such a good job in the crunch time. With everything. They also got Dale Jr. Except for this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Do you think that helps them having Junior up there, or is he gonna get frustrated?
It'll help their numbers.
I'm gonna guess he's not. I don't think he's gonna say anything bad about Fox because that's probably in the contract. But I'm sure he's gonna have opinions that I would love to hear about in 10 years when he's allowed to do it on his podcast.
I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna. Dale Jr. is pretty good at doing the broadcasting. I think.
I think him and Clint will
he's
be
not
good
the best,
together.
but he's good.
Yeah, I think him and Clint. I'm interested to see that. I mean,
yeah.
My favorite so far, I think, is probably Chad Knaus and Clint Boyer. I mean, those two together. Mike Joy's a staple. I think that's one of the problems. They got to find a new staple, and they just haven't found it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
I really like Tony Stewart and him. I thought Tony did a really good job. I thought, and they bust each other's balls. Kind of made it enjoyable, especially during dry parts of the race. But Chad Knaus is very knowledgeable, but he's kind of dry to me.
Yeah.
But they do work well together. I think Clint brings the best out of Chad.
No more Danica.
No more Danica.
Absolutely no Danica. Please no Danica. And
here's a rhetorical thing. If you know, so I guess CBS probably has him, but Alan Bestwick is out there. Go get him. There's your guy.
Really, I would love to see CBS come back and take over.
Or that. That's the other option.
That would be fantastic.
If you're Fox, go get Alan Bestwick.
The SRX stuff. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Is that who does SRX at CBS? I didn't remember that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. My bad.
yeah. Oh, you're good.
Way to hang up.
Live streaming, folks. Um, um, so yeah, Dale Jr. was one. He's not the only thing coming to Talladega, and we'll talk about that later in the preview. One last thing to touch upon with NASCAR, pretty big news. I wasn't very thrilled about it at first, but I respect it. North Wilkesboro is coming back. They are bringing back grassroots racing. In August, they will be running asphalt, like late models, modifieds, all that, all month. And then they will be, I don't know, are they just tearing up the asphalt and going to run the dirt underneath it? But they're going to be running dirt races in October.
Yeah, they literally
There.
said we're using the original dirt. So I don't know if they're serious or
Which
what that means, but that sounds
they don't
like
have a lot of time in between their schedule races as of right now. When I was looking at the schedule, you got to really tear that asphalt up quick and form a dirt track. You know, even if you're bringing dirt in to put it over top, like it's very.
Hey, look what they did to Atlanta and how quick they did that. I won't put anything
True.
past them
And
now.
it was a small track, so I'll give it that. When I first saw this, I'm like, can we just let it go? Can we just let the track go? It wasn't to me, it wasn't a great track. It was a boring track. It's a very small track. It's just one of those things where we're living in yesteryear. But it's good to see tracks get resurrected. It's good. For maybe other tracks across the country that maybe are struggling or have recently closed, that maybe they have hope if they could really get a group behind it. Dale Jr. was obviously integral in this. It basically all kickstarted when he took a bunch of volunteers to go get scanned for iRacing, and I'm like, that's cool. That's cool with me. And now they're bringing it back completely. What do you guys think about that?
I'm excited. It is, there is a lot of history there. I think it's kind of a little bit of a recipe for disaster because they are, before we ever see anything that we want, that I want to run on it, it's going to be repaved. So it's not going to be the same North Wilkesboro it ever was anyway. So I think, I'm looking at it as just a new track, which is exciting.
right, and it's in a market that really could use NASCAR kind of coming home and stop going to these places that don't want them or want them for a short period, and then their attendance is dwindling. Go to a smaller place and go back to where you kind of come where you came from a little bit in a historical place and build it up. Like Martinsville does great, Bristol does great. Why couldn't North Wilkesboro?
If I had to pick one in that area, would be Rock. I love Rockingham. I miss Rockingham. I miss the Rock, man. Like that was a great track. And I know they have their shortcomings and they tried to bring it back and all that, but I wish they could. And that's still an active track, I believe. I think they have like a late model series that goes there and all that. I would love to see NASCAR make a return. Now, granted, here with the North Wilkesboro news, it's only like I said, grassroots, but there is plans to bring the truck series back there. I don't want to see Cup go there. I'm fine with trucks. I'm fine with the grassroots thing. I'm fine with bringing that back to that capacity. I just don't want to see Cup go back there. One, they can't fit all the cars. You can't run. I mean, even back in the day, they would only run maximum 32 cars. They would have cars going home all the time, which is fine if you're going to do like a heat race format. Okay, I can get down with it.
Maybe they're testing out they'll test out a heat format.
Something like the Coliseum, I liked, but I don't know if I like it for a points race.
And I don't think I like it for the Cup Series. Do that for maybe trucks. Maybe change their format. Keep it closer to where most of the trucks are based. It would be perfect. Kind of like where the Truck Series started was halfway split. Get rid of the pit crews and just run the cost down a little bit. Even shorten the races some. Where they only have one set of tires they can change or something like that. Whatever you have to do.
I mean, as far as like bringing back like a local track there, I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem with that. It's just the whole. I don't know. Maybe I'm just salty because it's cool because it's basically something Dale Jr. and iRacing kickstarted, which is great, But
yeah, And Camden Jester in chat said, my big thing is I want to see more short tracks. And I do too. I want to see more short tracks until Martinsville. And I want to see them get short tracks figured out. And then I want to see more short tracks.
I think I'm the opposite. Not that I don't want to see more short tracks. It's just I think they have such a good balance right now of different types of tracks on the schedule. Between road courses, you have a dirt race, you have plenty of shorter tracks, you have unique tracks. There are because we're getting Gateway, and I know that's a bigger track, but it drives we kind of know it runs like a short track, just with some longer straightaways. And I don't know. I just I think they have a really good thing going on right now. I would hate for them to mess up too much, but I like when they take chances. And I think there's also a limit, especially with the Cup Series, on how short do you go. And I think North Wilkes-Barre is too short. I think it's too small. But we'll see. So that takes care of NASCAR from this past week. We'll talk a little bit about Dirt. We'll touch on some of the happenings around there. World of Outlaws, they had a 2-day show scheduled at I-55. Friday was canceled. Carson Macedo on Saturday night goes on to win a pretty wild feature event. One thing to point out was Sheldon Haudenschild going to basically getting 15 minutes to fix his car and rebuild it in the pits. I was like, come on, dude. I mean, I love watching when the whole crew gets together, like all the teams get together. That's one unique thing about the World of Outlaws. It's your competitors' teams are helping you get you back out on the track, and I like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything against that, but it just felt like he got more than the 2 minutes that you're allotted to fix your car, and went out and he drove his ass back up. It was a rough track. There's huge ruts. I saw Kenny Wallace post a picture on social media. I don't know who it was, but they were literally laying down in the rut, and it was like it was still over top of them. That's how deep it was in some parts. Very, very rough track, made for some dicey racing, broke a lot of cars, but it was an exciting feature. Carson Macedo goes out and gets it done. Coming up this weekend for them, they do Indiana two-step or whatever you want to call it. They go to Tri-City and Tri-State, so that should be interesting to watch. One thing I did notice, Gio Scelzi's coming here to PA, and it looks like the weather's not going to be great. So we'll see if the Outlaws have not had good luck so far this year when it comes to weather. I mean, I feel like they have 2 or 3 races scheduled every week, and at least one of them gets canceled, if not all of it. So keep your eye on that. The All-Star Circuit of Champions kicked off their points season at Attica Raceway Park. Tyler Courtney swept both nights. Not really surprised there. I mean, I'm honestly surprised Tyler Courtney's still running the All-Star circuit. I thought he would probably bump up to World of Outlaws, but I mean, if he could go get all that big money, why not? And then here in PA last week, Williams Grove, Anthony Macri got the win on Friday night. Dylan Cisney finished second. And I make a note of that because at Port Royal on Saturday night, Anthony Macri won with Dylan Cisney second again. So it's back-to-back nights where they were the 1-2. Tracks here in PA were pretty fast on Saturday night. Anthony Macri broke the 25-lap record at Port Royal. They finished a 25-lap feature in 7 minutes and 7 seconds. Yeah, just green the check, 7 minutes, boom, like that. The whole feature gone. Pretty much the same thing down at Lincoln. Danny Dietrich came from 8th, broke the Lincoln 30-lap record and won the feature there. And I think that was 7 minutes and 50 seconds. So pretty wild, really fast tracks. Got people in and out, which was cool. And yeah, that was really it. You guys have any thoughts from Dirt this past week?
I saw, not from this past week, but I did see today, I think it's World of Outlaws Lawton is not being rescheduled.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they couldn't find the date there for that rain out earlier in the year. Yeah, I don't know. I only got the Williams Grove, typical Williams Grove stuff. It's a good time, but not a lot of passing. Kind of heavy, just go fast. At least not up front. Macri and Sisney started front row. I guess Pat Cannon came 23rd to 11th. I guess a little bit of passing, but there was 3 different sprint car divisions there, so that was different. That's unique for Williams Grove. I don't know that I've ever seen that there before.
Yeah, I mean, Williams Grove is usually known for just being like one lane around the bottom, and but if you can make passes there like that, charge your way up through the field, that's impressive. One thing that is said here, what we're talking about dirt is, and it was said in the chat here, when North Wilkesboro goes to dirt, there is an open weekend there where North Wilkesboro is talking about running 410 sprint cars, and it happens to be an off weekend for the World of Outlaws, who will already be down there getting ready for the World Finals at Charlotte. So I would probably wait and see. There's probably going to be an announcement. I think that's kind of ballsy of if that does happen for the World of Outlaws, because it's going to be, we don't even know what the track's going to look like. But I could see it happening. It makes sense.
Like Brett said, recipe for being rough and dusty. Is that right? So yeah, that checks out. He's an expert, so I mean he is. So
yep, he would know. He would know. So that's gonna take us into our Jeremy Zarfos photo of the week. Want to thank Jeremy here. I see him in the chat, always bringing the fire with the heat with his photos from every week here in PA. This is Lucas Wolf going down the straightaway at Williams Grove on Friday night. Look at that lean, buddy. I love that car too. That's such a good paint. Definitely go check out Jeremy's Smug Mug, his website. You could go check it out at turn2terribles.com. There's a link. And we'll be posting all of his photos of the week here on our website as well. And he does great work. That's Jeremy Zarfos photography right there. Shouts out. Awesome photo.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a sharp looking car too. That's really cool.
That's typical Williams Grove, though. I mean, you get that right front in the air, but it's hard to get those slick-ass pictures.
Yeah.
And only the best can do it, Jeremy Zarfos.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on my oof to show up on one of these.
Well, we got to get the oof in there. Got to get the oof.
When do we go to Bath? May 1st, probably when we find it. Well, that's Lincoln, right? He races Lincoln, so
yeah, he races Lincoln.
We'll get you one.
He's got some pictures of oof, so we'll try to get one of those pictures in here.
We'll get it signed for you too, Josh.
There you go.
We'll try to get you. Maybe I wonder if he has merch. We'll try to get you a shirt.
There you go. That'll work.
All right, so that's gonna take us into, like I said, iRacing this week for us in NSRL. Big week. We're crowning champions out here, baby. We this past Monday night. I don't know if we want to talk about this. Oof. Championship 4. Our very own Chris Lynn was involved in that Championship 4 thanks to his win at Talladega.
I was there. It was in the race, put it that way.
He was there.
I was hanging out for all the laps. I was there.
We also had Jaden Bingaman, Landon Lacey, and Kayla McCarthy. That was our Championship 4 in the truck race. Landon Lacey goes on to win the championship. Very well deserved. Kind of a crazy race. It was a lot of long runs. Jaden started pole, or he started second.
Jaden started second.
Jaden started second. He jumped the start a little bit.
Banshee.
Yeah, he just took off.
He
got
saw
a black
red
flag, put him behind the 8-ball. I think he might have been the fastest truck all night. I think Landon would even agree with that, to be honest.
Right. From what we were talking about, like Landon said, he's really good on the short run. Landon was. But overall, once they got going, Jaden, hands down, would just drive up and wave by on the way through. So, tough break for him there.
Yeah, but it came down to a green-white checker finish in the end, and your Championship 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, anybody's game, anybody's championship to win, and Landon ends up getting a great start and walking away with it, and Chris got taken out.
Well, Landon's been the best truck. Landon's been the best truck most weeks. But between him and Jaden and Kayla, they've been the best in week and every week. So I
Mhm.
mean,
But for
deserving champion.
you, all you can ask is to have a shot there at the end, and you had a shot.
Yeah, I was there. I was in the race, had a shot more than I expected. So like a lot of learnings.
Hey, that's a
carry
hell
into
of
the
a
Cup season.
that's a hell of a championship 4 to be involved in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it makes it fun because it's a lot less pressure when you're going up and you're building towards getting to that level, and not expected to win. But yeah, seeing them all there, it's like, well, if something weird happens here, we might just Kyle Busch and back into this one. Who knows?
Yeah, you had a shot there at the end. You had a decent car, decent truck. Sorry, I always do that with the trucks. But just in the end, those guys were pretty fast. And then, Mr. Steel City Demon in the chat saying he'll take his looks now. You're damn right you will. No, I'm kidding. Chris kind of got
One of those racing
plows
deals,
down. Plows were down on the last lap, no matter if you were in the championship or not. And Chris got turned a little bit, but I mean, looking back at it, Chris, what did you think? Did you think you even had a shot at it? You never knew.
No,
the thing is, you never knew
say-
because the other three could have got together and you would have had a shot. but
Right.
you
Like,
never-
it's hard to say, but it's racing deal. You can't expect. There's a reason why we wanted more cars there. It's part of the thing. You have 4 championship guys. If we wanted to just be those 4 trucks, that'd be a boring race to be in for me and for anyone watching it. So there's other trucks. That's part of the race, right? And especially when there's late race restarts. I mean, everyone has a chance to win the race there. Go for it. One of those racing things. You go in the corner and one guy doesn't realize you're checking up earlier and bang bumpers and around you go. It's just the way it is.
It's how it goes sometimes. It is what it is.
Can't change it now. We just get ready for Cup season here in a couple weeks and
Yeah.
try to do it again.
Hashtags plows down. And then tonight, immediately following us getting off this live stream here, one reason why we're doing it a little bit earlier than we normally will, we got the Cup Championship tonight. Final 4, Tyler Isley, Josh Susi, Dylan Clark, and Mark Sikosi are the championship going into tonight. Isley's my teammate. I'm rooting for him. You damn well know I'm going to be trying to do everything I can to help him out. I'm probably just starting and parking, but that's who I'll be rooting for. Who do you guys got? I mean, all 4 can win. I do think Susi's probably been the most consistent and the best overall. But Clark's been very fast, especially of late. Mark's sneaky. He just is a very smart racer. He can, he's good with strategy, and he's just always there in the top 4 and the top 5 with a shot every week in, week out. And Isley's always fast. He's just always fast.
Right, and he's put so much more consistency in place over the last half of the season, not making those mistakes, take him out of races. A lot of times, he's going to be tough. It's tough to pick because Clark has raw speed and finds ways to stay up there. If it goes long green, not a lot of incidents. Mark's always lurking. I wouldn't want to be in this race if you weren't in one of those top tier levels of driver, but that's the Cup Series. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know, Mark. I've seen him. Mark's putting in the time. He's been running. Susi has been the man to beat all year.
yeah, it's hard to vote against Susi just because he's been so dominant at so many different points in the year. But one mistake and he's out of the race. So
Yep. And Isley's been super, super fast. He's just got to keep all 4 under him tonight and get to the end.
I think that's the main thing with Tyler is he's just got to stay calm, cool, and collected, and know that his speed is fast enough, and not to push it too hard and take himself out of the race.
I think Dylan Clark's fast. He's just got to make sure his internet gets him to the end of the race.
you just got to get that bucket of talent, bud.
We're going to be ordering 30 pieces of talent.
Yeah.
Big bucket. So next week, we talked about the truck series. We'll be crowning our champions at the NSRL Awards Banquet next week, April 27th at 8 p.m. We'll be doing a podcast next week, but we will also be hosting the awards banquet live. Be pretty cool to do. We have some awards up that people are voting on, and we will also be interviewing and talking to the league owners and the champions from each series, and giving out some awards, and talking to a bunch of different people throughout the series, and just talking about the season. I mean, the Cup Series, man, I mean, the Trucks this year was just a starter. It was only 16 races, but the Cup Series, man, we've been doing it for almost 40 weeks now. So it's a long, grueling road, and we're about to start another one here in a couple weeks. But it'll be really cool, I think, to get everybody together and just kind of reflect on the past almost year that we have raced together on Wednesday nights. So it's cool. I think it's something that's going to be really fun, and whether you're involved with NSRL or not, if you're just a fan of us, come check it out. I think it'll be fun. It'll be something different, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think I think it's going to be. I'd say it's probably going to be a little bit more of a longer one for us. It's going to be, but it's going to be a good time and more of a looser thing, just kind of hanging out with our friends that we've made over the last year. And
absolutely, that's how this all started.
Right.
40 weeks ago, I didn't know Josh, and and this would never have happened. You know what I mean? I kind of knew Chris from the Posse League, obviously, but I mean, I should say kind of, but you know what I mean.
Kind of. It was only like at that point. I'm in the league because of you. I think we were like
yeah. And to talk about the Posse League real quick, last night we had 410s at Lernerville and 360s for Posse After Dark at Williams Grove. Aiden Burline, big shocker, sweeps them both.
Is there any need to update that? I'll just say every week it seems like so far it's just been both series.
It's either him or Trevor Royer, man. It's been tough. It's been they're tough guys to beat, but it makes everybody better. I'm not complaining when he wins.
So it was Aiden, Trevor Royer, and Jeremy, right? Were the top three last night, I believe? Or is
yes, at 410s, yes.
Where did Savinsky get up there? Sarinsky.
I can't remember who it was in the 360s, but
I know I got lapped by them. That's all I know.
So, talking about next week, before we get out of here, NASCAR at Talladega, all three series, and I'm correct in saying that this time. The Xfinity series.
Nobody knows what happened last time.
I mistake it. Blooper.
Well, they do know. They do know because they went and watched the podcast like nice loyal viewers.
I said last week that all three series were going to be at Bristol, thinking Xfinity was running dirt for some reason, but I'm dumb. Jeremy Zarfos was third, confirmed in the chat, confirmed. But NASCAR at Dega next week. Talladega's always fun. Xfinity is going to be interesting on Saturday. You got Jeffrey Earnhardt in the RCR number 3. You got Earnhardt in the number 3 with Larry McReynolds as the crew chief. And you're going to have Dale Jr. in the booth in the Cup Series, as we kind of alluded to before. What do you guys think this upcoming week?
I think it's going to be cool. I think that's a really cool thing for RCR to do, to get Larry Mack, to get Earnhardt in the 3. I think it's cool. It's a cool tip of the cap.
For sure.
Yeah, Chris. Anytime you bring back, I mean, clearly you're going. It's a good opportunity for Jeffrey, I think, to maybe get a bigger opportunity down the road. Dale Jr. is obviously can change a lot of things. He really he saved North Wilkesboro, so
yeah, that's true.
He's pretty much NASCAR Jesus at this point. So you get him around, you can have ratings go up. And Larry Mack, hasn't been on the booth in forever, but he's been doing all his homework for the broadcast. I think it's just more. I think they're actively trying to have a really good broadcast in some degree this week. I'm sure he's working with Fox in some way too, in race type stuff. So
yeah, you could be able to check in with them throughout the race and stuff.
Yeah, I would say it's going to be exciting. Talladega is always exciting.
Yeah, I think the next gen car with this package and everything. I like Daytona. Atlanta was pretty wild. We'll see how Talladega goes. I think it's going to put on a good race.
Yeah.
Big week here in PA, dirt-wise. Tonight, right now, as we're doing this, Bridgeport's going on in New Jersey. A lot of PA Posse and outsiders. Like I said, weather's not looking great. You kind of see some outsiders coming in. Tomorrow night, I'm so excited for this. 5 minutes from my house. The All-Star Circuit of Champions, first time ever coming to Bloomsburg Fairgrounds Speedway. First time for 410s on that track. Just a new track that opened last year. We got Christopher Bell and Alex Bowman will be there tomorrow night. They're both there tonight at Bridgeport. racing 410 sprint cars, as well as a lot of other outsiders coming in. So that'll be exciting to see. And then we also got the All-Stars at Williams Grove on Friday, Port Royal on Saturday, and then not an All-Star race, but a bigger paying race that a lot of All-Stars would probably go to. The Tilly Classic at Sealands Grove on Sunday night. 5 nights in a row here in PA. Pretty early to be doing that, but a lot of them are coming. You have Dominic Scelzi coming out from California. You have Gio Scelzi from California coming out. And like I said, you have Alex Bowman and Christopher Bell running here tomorrow night. It's going to be pretty cool. And Jeremy Zarfos will be there. That's for sure. Chris, you're coming up tomorrow.
I'll be there tomorrow. Plan is potentially all three, the next three anyway. Bloomsburg, Williams Grove, Port Royal. Got to work Sunday, so we'll not be at Sealands Grove.
Wah, wah. I plan on going, obviously, tomorrow night, Port Royal on Saturday, and Sealands Grove on Sunday. So definitely keep it tuned in to our social media, and we'll be giving you guys some content. Maybe we'll try to get into the pits maybe tomorrow night. Maybe get a quick word with Christopher Bell and Alex Bowman. Maybe I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll try.
Or a video of Jimmy getting arrested and drug out of there.
Hey,
that is much more likely.
Content sells, Bo.
Yeah, and then Formula One will be in Italy. They have a sprint race on Saturday and Grand Prix on Sunday. One of those sprint races. And I think I know IndyCar. I don't think IndyCar is racing anywhere this week, but I know they're testing at Indy. So they were testing at Indy today. I saw that Helio Castroneves had a wreck, and yeah, they're testing today and tomorrow. So yeah, so starting next Monday, we will be doing this. We'll be live streaming the podcast here Mondays, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We will also have the NSRL Awards Banquet, April 27th at 8 p.m. next Wednesday. Thank you guys all. We had quite a few viewers in here. Thank you guys for all coming out, dropping in the chat, hanging out with us for about an hour and hanging out.
Real quick, shout out to 4 new subscribers since last time. It's Briggs Swope, Jeremy Zarfos, Camden Jester, and Thunder Gaming Network. And I don't remember if this is confirmed, but we're also going to be doing the draw for the Clash at the banquet.
Ooh, I did not know that. I'm excited for that one, though.
I think
Breaking news.
Pretty sure that's what we're doing.
Breaking news. You heard it here first.
That's some infield turn to terrible confirmed news right there.
But as always, thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Check us out on all social media. Go to turn2terribles.com for everything Turn 2 Terribles. We're constantly improving every week. And let us know what you guys want to hear us talk about. Let us know what we're doing wrong. Whatever, you know what I mean? But either way, thanks for everything.
Yep.
So
thank you.
All right, guys.
Yep. Have a good night.
Have a great night, and see you guys next week.